Okay. Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. It's time for a weekly track roundup. My thoughts, my feelings, my opinions, my beliefs on a bunch of songs that have dropped over the past week or so. They're all linked down below, so you could check them out, whether I loved them or hated them or felt somewhere in between. That's the whole deal, you could say, with this video. Also linked down below is our Turntable Lab link. We get kickback from it if you use it to buy some vinyl, some turntable stuff, some whatever. Go for it. Go crazy. You know, Christmas is coming up. Use that Turntable Lab link, huh? Thank you very much. Also linked down below, our Patreon page. Get some extra bonus monthly content while supporting us in the process. You could do that too. That's an option. That's also a thing you could do. And access to our Discord community too. And our YouTube Shorts page, where we put up that yummy, delicious short form content on a regular basis. And our recently revamped website with a big, fat, honking, constantly updated news section that we are quite proud of. Check it out today. All right, the shout out for today comes by way of Austen, who has shouted out many a music on a weekly track roundup. However, in this particular instance, the music that she is shouting out is her music, which again is linked down below. She describes it as a mess of music that was made from 2012 to 2021 that for all of its flaws has a special place in my heart. A main source of inspiration was a close friend's photography during the many years she lived in Lebanon. If you can, please consider donating to the Lebanese Red Cross in this time of increasing need and urgency. The direct donation link will also be in the description box. So thank you to anybody who does that. So yeah, basically new music, donation link, check that out down below. And shout out to Austen for sharing her work, sharing her artistic output with us. All right, worst tracks of the week. They are as follows. We just have a couple of those. One is this new Meek Mill track, CYBERTRUCK. Why the title? It just kind of seems like a generic Meek Mill track that has nothing to do with Cybertrucks. It just sort of seems like a lame tie-in, maybe even an ad. Who the heck knows? But yeah, it's about as average as a Meek Mill track gets. And for whatever reason, it's titled Cybertruck. There is also Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton from Gwen's forthcoming album. She's going a little country, and it sounds boring. Yeah, that's what Purple Irises is pretty much in a nutshell. And speaking of Cybertrucks, DaBaby is standing on one for whatever reason on this new track from his forthcoming How TF Is This a Mixtape. And yeah, the track is called Did It. It's about as average as DaBaby gets. The guy has really painted himself into a corner, but you know, there's really no surprises there. All right, the tracks that I was on the fence with, they are as follows. You might enjoy them a little more than me. Here we go. We have a new one from Yola, who had a really great like combination of rock, country, and soul going on with her last full-length LP, which I believe like Dan Auerbach had a hand in instrumentally and production-wise, and great vocals, great songwriting, killer record all around, lots of stellar highlights. She has a new single out titled Future Enemies, and yeah, I'm a little on the fence with it. I mean, the songwriting is there, the vocals are there. I'm not sure if taking things in a more like electronic direction on the production side is working all that well, but I still think the songwriting is very much there for the most part. So shout out to her. We also have St. Vincent, who is coming through very soon with an all Spanish version of her latest full-length LP. So basically all the same songs, just the lyrics are in Spanish now. And, you know, with that being said, we have the song Hombre Roto, or Broken Man. Yeah, just basically a Spanish version of the same song. And yeah, you know, basically if you ever wanted to hear that song and the rest of this record in Spanish very soon, you will have that ability. So it's coming. It's on the way. Spanish version of the album. We also have Tommy Richman, who is hitting us with a brand new single. New album Coyote on the way. This track is titled Whitney. And while the vocals are kind of grating, and I feel like the production runs just a tad bit too thin, I will commend Tommy for switching it up on this track. He's hitting us with some nice synth funk chords, a groovier, peppier, faster beat. I feel like he's not just simply trying to remake $1 Million Baby. It seems like, it's in his usual style. It's in the wheelhouse, but he's changing it up. He's switching it up, taking a risk. And, I think it's a solid tune. It's just the vocals just get kind of grating to me after a while. But hey, if that is Tommy's appeal and it's working for you, then let it appeal. Moving on from there, Teddy Swims gives us a very average piece of, I guess kind of glitzy pop soul on this new one, Bad Dreams. That one's just kind of okay. We have Poppy handing us a new track that very much sounds like a Slipknot song. Sounds like the steel drums and all that. They're all around us. I mean, again, formulaically kind of sounds like a Slipknot song, but it's some decent production. And cool to hear that, she's still very firmly in that metal lane with her music these days. We also have a new one from Indigo Souza, who has a brand new EP out. And one of the tracks off of it is Evil. She's really going in deep with the auto-tune on these tracks and kind of giving us some weird indie electronic pop, and the lyrics are hilarious on this track. I can give it that. I will give it points for hilarious lyrics, but I really do feel like the autotune is heavy-handed and doesn't necessarily complement her voice as well as it possibly could. But Father John Misty has a brand new album on the way and a new single out from it. Screamland is the title, and I'm not as into it as I wish I would, as I wish I was. It's just got a very grating, deafening, heavy, noisy, harsh chorus that it sounds like if Imagine Dragons was a noise pop band. I mean, I like the forlorn piano chords. I like the vocals for the most part on the verses. I need to dive into the lyrics a bit more, but the hook is really just not working for me at all. And I don't know if it's something that is going to warm up to me at all as we get closer to this album's release. Best tracks of the week, though. Quite a few of those. Let's get into them. Bam, starting with Imperial Triumphant, the experimental, avant-garde, progressive, way out there metal band is back with a brand new single titled Eye of Mars. And yes, it's pretty much everything that made me fall in love with their music to begin with. It's heavy. It's experimental. It's totally out there. It's got some prog metal vibes, some death metal vibes, some interesting arranged bits. The bells are insane. The vocals are crazy. It's just an absolute technical thrill ride, but still visceral, not too wankery or anything like that. Just a great, fiery, exciting, thrilling track from Imperial Triumphant. We have Mogwai, who's come through with a song that I think for them is pretty standard instrumentally and aesthetically, God Gets You Back, but it still has a really great progression. Really cool to hear the band sounding great after all these years while still very solidly staying in that instrumental, sort of post-rock kind of lane that they were known for kind of, making their name in to begin with so many decades ago. We have also Macklemore, who, say what you will about his vibes, his aesthetics, what he was trying to do with this recently released single, HIND'S, where he was, basically trying to, through his platform and through his music, draw some very much needed attention to the ongoing genocide in Palestine. And the guy has come through with a new version of the track featuring Palestinian artists on the song, just kind of saying their piece, and you're basically hearing it straight from them on the song. It's actually quite powerful and touching that not only did he put together a cool track here, but he's using this platform to further platform people who are directly connected to this genocide and have been fighting, against this ongoing occupation, because this is not new, for a long time. And just a really cool crossover, and it's just great that he's kind of taking I don't want to say a risk, but sort of saying what needs to be said in a time when it seems like there aren't a lot of artists who are willing to do so, and we'll leave it there, not to sort of obligate artists point blank period, because really it's our politicians and those in power who should be responding and taking action and doing something. But if artists, I feel like your conscience should sort of drive you there naturally, and clearly that's the case for Macklemore here. So Hind's Hall 2, cool that the track is out. All right, we have Gan Dawson, who has come through with an interesting switch up, an interesting change of pace on this new single, Houston, because this track surprisingly sees him going in a bit of a kind of spacey, sad new wave direction. It's a little bit 80s, which I know isn't usually his typical vibe, but the songwriting is there and the vocals are actually really good. It's cool to sort of hear him like really kind of getting deeper into singing with more range, more bellowing vocals, more emotive vocals, and for the most part, it's working in some really interesting ways, and which is most definitely the case with this track. We have GloRilla, new album Glorious on the way, and I'm actually messing with this new single. Excuse me. Hollon is the title of it. It's got a really hype chorus, high energy, banging beat. Not a whole lot to it outside of that, but it doesn't need much more. So, it's a good solid trappy banger single, and we can pretty much leave that there. All right, we have Elucid, who has come through with another taste of his forthcoming album. The opening track, The World Is Dog, and it sounds like if you took like some really free-form, wild, out there, fast, intense, abstract hip-hop flows and put them over like an instrumental to Radiohead's In Rainbows or something. But it really, really works. It sounds sick as fuck. So it's really cool that he's switching things up production-wise on this forthcoming album, and really kind of stepping it up, musically and lyrically as well. So really looking forward to this album, because pretty much every teaser that I've heard so far has been intriguing, to say the least. Also a shout out to Bad Bunny for this new single over here, Una Velita. It's got this vibe that feels like he's going back a little bit to Yo Ago, like that era, kind of that psychedelic Latin trap combo thing, but it has some killer big group vocal samples laced throughout the track that just sort of like add a lot of hype and I think beauty to the song and the instrumental that I like a lot. It would be cool to hear him indulge in more stuff like this on a forthcoming album for sure. A couple more. We have Bon Iver, Speyside, brand new track, and he's bringing it back to the indie folk days with some beautiful guitar work, some great vocals, some very stripped back and solemn vibes. It's working for me. It's sounding beautiful. Recording is solid as well. And fingers crossed that there's more like it to come on this new EP and eventually an album, because this is going to be on a soon-to-be released EP. But, would love more, even more than that. I'm sure there will be. And then finally, Alice Longyu Gao. Shout out to Alice, who has come through with a very interesting, peculiar, multi-phase single that moves from like art pop to indie rap rock to something else entirely from even there on this new track titled Bird Without a Nest, featuring Danny Brown, who actually delivers a really great rap verse on the track. One of the most unexpected but also awesome crossovers to happen this year for sure. And, Alice and Danny really nailed it on this one, and great production throughout the track as well. Great production too. But that is going to be it for this weekly track roundup. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys got some good solid recommendations out of this video, and you're the best. Anthony Fantano, weekly tracks forever.